Welcome to another Chainlink update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. I have not made a video about Chainlink in like 2 weeks, and that is because Chainlink has not really done anything since my last update. However, I do have something to talk about in this video, so I'm gonna, get straight to it. Before I do that, let me actually explain what's happening in case you did not watch my previous videos. So Chainlink is still trying to start a third wave of a third wave, and right now we are trying to complete 5 waves up. Now these 5 waves up are here to, for us to be able to confirm that the low right here of the second wave is actually in. Now in my opinion, I think the second wave of this 1-2 setup is already in. I mean, we already got above the first wave high right here. However, we do not have a 5 wave move to the upside. We only have 4 waves right now, and let me talk about these 4 waves. So we have a 1-2 setup here. After this 1-2 setup, we had a third wave move, which was an ABC structure with a C wave that had 5 waves up, and then we formed an ABC structure for a fourth wave move down. As you can see, we almost got to the 0.618 support level, but then we actually bounced, and yeah, right now we are at the bull market support band, and I think it's likely that we get to the 0.618 support level again before we actually continue with this move to the upside. Now, of course, I know that's bearish in the short term, but trust me, in the long term, it's actually very, very bullish. Now, why do I believe that we will drop to this level again? And of course, keep in mind, that's only my opinion. Maybe this is not going to happen, but this is how I'm seeing this chart, and if it will happen, of course, it's not going to be great if you bought up here. However, if you bought down here, you would still be fine. So why do I believe that we will get another low on the Chainlink chart before we continue? Well, this is because of Bitcoin dominance, and let me explain. I know Bitcoin dominance is a very, let's just say, sensitive subject because people do not really want to hear about this chart. I mean, this chart has been going up since pretty much September of 2022, and yeah, we kept putting in new cycle highs. We just put a new cycle high right here in about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I mean, things are not looking great for the altcoin market. However, I mean, the exact same thing happened in the previous cycle. Bitcoin dominance kept going higher and higher, and at some point it started breaking down. And when did it start breaking down? Well, in 2021 it actually started breaking down at the end of March, and during February Bitcoin dominance was just doing nothing. And yeah, right now Bitcoin dominance is also doing nothing, it's just going sideways, and I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to actually start dropping at the end of March. Now, I know the end of March is like 1 month away, and I know people are losing patience. However, this is actually very normal, and of course, Chainlink is still doing pretty good. And also, before I continue with the Bitcoin dominance chart, let me actually show you the Link Bitcoin chart, because this is a very important chart that I don't see many people talk about. Let me go on the weekly chart, and as you can see, I mean, this chart is actually holding up quite well. We barely got to the 50% extension, well, the 50% support level of the move to the upside right here. And of course, the Elliott wave count does not really work on the, Link Bitcoin chart. However, it is very impressive that, Chainlink did not really drop too much, at least compared to how much it dropped against the other altcoins. I'm talking about Bitcoin, of course. Some other altcoins did way worse than Chainlink. For example, ADA. If you look at the ADA Bitcoin chart, which is this right here, ADA is currently at the lows that it was at when we were in the previous cycle right here. So yeah, Chainlink is actually holding up quite better than ADA, which is a bit interesting, and this actually makes me wonder if we will get another low and maybe test the 50% extension before we continue with a move to the upside. Maybe we will even get to the 0.618 support level, and I know not many people are a fan of that idea, but you have to keep in mind, I mean, Chainlink right now is at $18, and there's not much happening, and that's because, Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. So could we get another low on Chainlink before we actually get an altcoin season? Well, I think it's going to be very possible that we do. Now, if we don't, like I said, not everything that I say turns out to be true, but if we do, you have to be prepared for it. And I know this video is not the most bullish video in the world. However, I'm expecting the altcoins to be at the, at least above the previous all-time highs by the end of May. And let me explain why. I don't think I have talked about this in my previous Chainlink video, so let me talk about this situation. So let me talk about what's happening with Bitcoin, and let me show you what Bitcoin did every single cycle, and let me show you how Bitcoin in every single cycle has formed a double top at the exact same time of the cycle, and nobody seems to be talking about this. Now, I want to start with the 2013 cycle. Here we actually went up until May, well actually no, until April of 2013, and then we had a correction until July of 2013. Why is this important? You will understand very soon. First, let me see what happened after that. As you can see, after that, we went down, like I said, during the summer, and then we hit a new cycle high in December of 2013, which by the way was a post-halving year. Now let's continue with 2017. Here in 2017, we went up until the end of May, pretty much, and then we went down during the summer, and we went up again by the end of the year, and we actually topped again in the December post-halving year. And I mean, this is the exact same thing as the 2013 cycle. Now let's continue with 2021. In 2021, we went up until May, well actually no, until April, and then we started going down until the summer, and then we hit a new cycle high at the end of the year, this time in November. So it's pretty much the exact same thing. The first wave move right here, well that's not a first wave, but you get what I'm saying. The first wave right here actually goes up until April or May of the post-halving year, and then we get a correction. Now why is this important? Well, because for Bitcoin this move has actually not started yet. And why is this move even important? I mean, what does this have to do with the altcoin season? Well, if you look at what happened, for example, in 2017, when we had this move and when Bitcoin was actually going up right here, this is when the altcoin charts actually started waking up, and this is when Bitcoin dominance was dropping like crazy. Now let me show you another example. Of course, 2013 is not a good example, but there were some altcoins during this time that were actually going up like insane numbers in 2013. I have talked about this. I've talked about Doge, for example. If you look at the Doge chart, I mean, it was not around really for the 2013 cycle. However, if you look at what it did in 2017, it went up until May and it went down pretty much until, let's say, well actually here it went down until September, and then we hit a new cycle high by the end of the year. Now, what am I trying to say with this? Well, if we want the altcoins to actually start going up, we need Bitcoin to wake up first. And an altcoin season usually starts when Bitcoin finally wakes up and when it starts going up like crazy. Now, of course, in the 2021 cycle, this is a different story. I mean, when we had the altcoin season last cycle, Bitcoin was just doing this right here. It was just going sideways. However, I don't think we will see a repeat of this because in this cycle we have already had these sideways price action periods. For example, here, we are already going sideways right now, and even here, and the altcoin season did not happen during these times. The move to the upside on the altcoin charts, for example, what we had in November, only started when Bitcoin was doing this right here. They were not going up on their own. Now, what does this say? Well, this shows us that we need Bitcoin if we want the altcoins to actually start going up. And this would make sense because in 2017, the altcoins did not go up on its own. So I think this cycle is a lot more similar to the 2017 cycle rather than the 2021 cycle, just because in 2021, you have to keep in mind, in 2021, we had this drop right here, or actually this was in 2020, but you get what I'm saying. And in 2017, we did not. We just went up in a straight line, just like we are doing right now. So that's why I think this cycle will be similar to the 2017 cycle or the 2013 cycle, which means that it is likely for Bitcoin to go up until, let's say, April or the end of May. And then we get a correction during the summer. And then at the end of the cycle, when we actually, hit about $255,000, which is my prediction and which has always been my prediction for quite some time now. After that, of course we will start a bear market, but before that, I'm expecting a huge altcoin season to start, and I'm expecting it to start in like a couple of weeks, let's say about 4 weeks, because like I said, during this time right here, this is when the altcoins were actually going crazy. So it doesn't really matter, like I said, what, the altcoins want to do. It does not really matter what the structure on the altcoin market is right now, or, it doesn't really matter what the elite wave count is right now, because if we want an altcoin season, we just have to wait until April or May. So that's literally it. Every single cycle so far, in every single cycle, we started the altcoin season at the end of March or at the end of February, like we did in 2017, for example. So you just need to be patient right now. And what I'm trying to say right now is that yes, Chainlink will go up. I think it will go up to all-time highs very, very soon, but you just need some patience. And, if we are not at like $100 by the end of May, then yes, you will need to start worrying. But until then, I mean, things are still looking fine. And even the Link Bitcoin chart is looking good right now. So I don't really get the complaints. I don't really understand why people are, bearish right now. Now, of course, people are bearish because the price is not really doing anything. And this shows us that we will most likely get another low. But like I said, another low would not be the end of the world. However, I do not really want to see the price drop below the 0.618 support level, because if we did, we will most likely drop to this low right here as well, and we do not really want to get to about $12 because that would turn the chart into a very messy structure, and yeah, that would not be great. So let's hope that if we get another low, we actually bounce and we get a fifth wave. The fifth wave is expected to get somewhere between $34.93 and even $40. So I still think this will happen very, very soon. How soon? Well, probably in the next couple of weeks, I would say. And yeah, I'm still bullish on Chainlink, and you should be as well, in my opinion. But if we got another low, it would not be the end of the world. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.